Hello, beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza, your host here at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. My guest today is Eshani Mody. She's an Akashic Records reader. She also does tarot. She's an energy healer. So let's welcome her. I'm so excited. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you here today. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be a part of your podcast, and I want to thank you for giving me the pleasure to be here. It's beautiful, and I'm so excited.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Um, let's get started with your story. How was your life before you got into energy healing and reading the Akashic Records and doing the Oracle cards? Like, what was your life before that?
So I come from an Indian background where, an Indian family where education is the topmost priority. I was sent to school here from undergraduate to be a doctor, but I switched into civil engineering. I'm a civil engineer, and I did my master's in construction management. I have been working for almost 14 years. So my life was extremely stressful. It was nonstop work. I don't think I enjoyed the beauty of life when I wanted to. And after work, you would just end up like drinking, watching TV, going out with friends. I don't think I ever took a moment to stop and rest. But between all of that chaos, was always connected spiritually because I used to go to somebody for over 10 years for consultations and healing. Um, Being a person of Indian nationality, they emphasize a lot on the gods from India. I, for some reason, never had so much faith in one God, but this has always called to me. So even despite all of that chaos, I was always called, to go to I would say, my person. She was almost like a therapist to me who would listen to me, guide me on my path to uncover and to like walk through the bushes of this life, and see light beyond it. So my journey with this started way before I even realized, unconsciously. Um, but since then I actually quit my job and I have fully gotten into the spiritual realm, and
Yeah.
my god, life is beautiful, the skies are different. It's a beautiful journey, and I'm really thankful for it.
Yeah, let me just go back a little because I feel so many of us go through that journey. Like I had my first awakening in 2000 and I didn't know. And just like you, I was going to readers and psychics and I was experiencing things, but paid no attention, didn't follow up, didn't dig through for like 20 years, right? And I was in the
Yes.
same situation where I was like working and I was good at it, but still didn't feel fulfilled. And I just feel so many people can relate to this and maybe see themselves in this story and be like, wait a second, I'm going through that right now. Wait a second, I have a spiritual healer or a tarot reader or whomever it is that they're going to, just like you did, in order to like get the satisfaction of that something other, right?
Yes,
That connects.
absolutely. Yeah. I never knew that I wanted to do this professionally. So again, like anybody whoever is listening to this and is working, but like you said, goes to a tarot reader or a psychic reader, you never know what is going to open up on your path and what magic lies within you, or what your strengths are truly, because you've not explored them, right? So I just feel that, spirituality, you address it because now it is so open. 10 years ago, for me, I didn't know anything what I was doing. It's just what I get got called to, I would just go there. I didn't know. I didn't have any information. I didn't have any resources. Like, I'm sure the same thing with you. We
Hmm.
just do it instinctively. But I think right now there's so much open resources out there. So I would tell anyone that it's the small changes that you do daily in your life. And if you're consistent with it, the universe is going to land something beautiful in your lap, which is right in alignment with your path, with what your strengths are, with what your magic is. So, it's good to go to all the readers and everything, but whenever you're ready, universe will land something in your lap, like they did with me. And that's when I started doing Akashic reading, and oh my God, it has opened up the world for me. So
So
I just
how did you hear about it? Like you said it landed on me. Like how did that happen?
So I kept there was a period in my life after the delivery of my kids, we as women we go through so many changes emotionally. I went through depression, I had, weight issues. I mean, a lot of things were going on, and the pressures of motherhood is real. So I think at some point I was just like I even though I was doing all of this and I would call up my reader to give me guidance. But at some point, it just dawned on me that I don't want to work anymore. I quit my job. And then I just started my spiritual journey where I just kept studying. And how did I find Akashic Records? It's amazing. Like when I decided to quit my job, I was on Instagram and Facebook and all of these online websites, and I kept searching for courses that would call out to me. And it was this or it was chakra, course and this really called out to me, and I just did it, and it's the best decision I ever made. So like I said, I think when you decide what you want, when you're clear, the universe gives you something. They will give you a little sugar. Come, let me help you. They'll give you a breadcrumb, they'll give you something. I think I said sugar because I love chocolate, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Who
They give
doesn't?
you a breadcrumb to like carry forward your journey, to give you a direction, to see if that pulls to you. So yeah, I think that's how this landed on me.
Amazing. So you took a course. You
Yes, I
took
did.
you got off work and you started just diving into your spiritual
Yes.
awakening and awareness, and then
Yes.
that's where you found the Akasha Records. So was
Yes.
that difficult for you to or was it easy? Did it come easy? Because I know that when I was trying to open the records, I had a really difficult time. I was in a group and people were like, I feel this, I felt this when I opened it. And I was like, I got nothing. I feel nothing. I don't know what. And it was just like this huge feeling of inadequacy among the other students that I was like, oh man, this is probably not for me, or I can't do it, or whatever. Then, of course, it landed that I was always in the records. So that's why I wasn't getting an opening and closing like so other people. And I was like, oh, okay. I just mentioned this because, we we are the best ones to criticize ourselves and to put ourselves down when we're not seeing it or feeling it like others. So how was that journey for you?
Yes. So I did my course with Amy Robinson, who is a very well-known Akashic practitioner. So I did both the levels with her, and I'm certified. I went through that journey. For me, it was not very difficult in that sense because I'd already started meditating and sitting for hours, or let's say 15 minutes, then I started 30 minutes, then I started with guided meditation, then I just kept on sitting to get answers.
Mhm.
And I also think that right now, as the world is shifting so much, the veil is thinning. The access is more there if you truly want it, if you truly believe in it. Um, I I I believe that. So that was my thing that I kept saying to myself. But yes, I did not feel so much in comparison with others because I did get in. I did not have that feeling, but of course, everybody's journey was different, and I learned that early on that like that's something that even Amy explained to us, that everybody comes with their own set of grief, their own set of beliefs, their own set of limitations. So if somebody sees an angel and I don't see it, that is okay, because my values might be different from hers, and I am might be limiting myself. It does not mean that I don't have angels. It just means that I am not yet ready to see it, because I have to break down a barrier to be able to see that. right? It's part of the healing journey that we go through to loving ourselves. So I think I understood that early on, and it wasn't much of an issue, but of course I did get in. I can understand how difficult that must have been, and I'm
Uh,
sorry.
no,
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
for me,
fine.
it was I did get in, and it wasn't too hard or anything of that sort. I'm blessed, and I'm extremely grateful to the universe for giving this to me. Yeah,
Amazing. I also like how you said I was really pulled into that,
yeah,
and that's just going with your intuition, like going to where you're feeling that pull, that excitement, like I want to do this. Because so many times we get that and then we don't act upon it, it goes
yeah.
away.
Yes, absolutely. It goes away. And nothing is written in stone. Like that's what they say in the Akashic Records,
Hmm.
things keep shifting. So if you don't act upon it, then another door is going to open for you. But, it just shifts, things keep moving. Like life, it's a movie, it's just gotta keep playing. So yeah.
I love that. Okay, so you started into the Akashic Records, and then did that go into energy healing and the cards, or how did that work?
Yes, absolutely. So I started with my Akashic Records. Um, I had a very strong calling for energy healing, you would say, or Reiki. Um, I asked two or three of my mentors if I should do a course in Reiki, and they said, you don't need to as of now. You can do it much later on, but for now, you can continue doing the work under the Akashic Records because they want to guide you through that. So for everybody, the journey is different, of course, and initially it was really hard for me to understand and accept the fact that I don't need a certification to be able to do that. See, like we've been we've been trained to believe that you need a degree, you need a certification, you need so many years of experience, you need countless, like any ad you read, that's how they start. I have 500 clients, I have so many years of experience, but truly, like, I think magic lies within each one of us. If you can make a difference to one person, also just imagine the tree effect, it just keeps spreading. So I had to go through that belief system of understanding that I can work within my Akashic
Hmm.
for energy healing and accept that. Break that barrier of that education, certification, and all of those things because my mentors taught me how to work with energy under the Akashic Records.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, because it's the whole conditioning that we've been told, like you need a degree, you need the paper on the wall, you need, all these things. And every time, and this is what I'm just feeling now, it's like every time that we strive to complete that next level, it's like we stop living, right? It's like, okay, I need to get to that. And then what? I remember when I finished college that I was like, I got my degree, and then I was like, but wait a second, now what? Like I had no idea what to do with it because I was just striving for that degree. I was striving to get the completion, and I didn't know, and no one taught us, during my college years, what the next step was.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so sad because, like we don't look at the whole picture, right?
Yeah.
And that's how we've been taught and brought up, But I think now there's just so much access out there for everyone, which is amazing because they're asking everyone to like remold their lives into something better, into something more beautiful, which is why I think, having practice and doing little things is gonna give you a big change in the end, right?
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
So how do you help people? How do people come to you? Are they looking for an Akashic reader? And then what
Yeah.
happens in your sessions?
So my sessions are not just about guidance, but also coaching. They come to me for Akashic readings. I am on Instagram as my social media, and I have a website, an email, of course. Sometimes it's like by word of mouth or however it happens, right? So in my Akashic reading, the first time usually people come to me, it's more generic. They just want to know everything, and then they have one particular issue in their life that they want to stress on. That's what I've understood. Um, and I try to do not only give them the guidance and answer their questions, but I also try to do coaching in the sense that I give them some homework to take away, meaning that if you do this, you're going to feel better. If you have anxiety, do this for now until you're comfortable to come back to me, and then we can do a healing session. But try to do these activities. Now, it's of course upon each one of you all to do it or not. I also offer help after the call for a certain period of time. If they are doing some of the homework and they get stuck, I guide them through it. So it's not just a one-off thing and then I'm done. I want to help you on your journey. That is my purpose. It's not My purpose is not just to get off the call. And then sometimes people come back to me because they want to do an extended healing, like healing for anxiety. I recently did a twin flame healing. Then there's like sometimes, they have issues with their heart, like they have suffered. So I do healing for that. So it depends what they come for. And then depending on each person, I try to like repackage but that would suit you best. So I would let you know what I can offer you and how we should go about with it. But in addition to all of this, I also do a lot of online workshops and in person. I am currently doing a business mindset workshop for entrepreneurs, how to grow in their business. Because when I started this, I didn't even know that I could speak in a group of people. And here I am. So, there's just little things, because in a business, there's just so much that goes out of you that if it's your own business, it's very important to break a lot of barriers around you. So I'm doing a workshop on that online. And I'm also going to be doing a self-love workshop online. So I do a lot of workshops online too. Yeah, I post all the links on Instagram and on my
Amazing.
monthly newsletter. Yeah.
So, I know because I read the records as well that you can also read energy of what's going on in the world, or you can read the energy of a home or of a tree if you want. Have you used your gifts to do that?
Yes, I have. I have read energies of objects. I have read energies of crystals I've worked with. I have read energy of the house. I am actually currently going to be moving out of this house. And just for example, we're not selling it. So I want to make sure that I do my justice to it because I want this house is beautifully held space for me, and I wanted to do it the same for the others. I do read the energy of the house to make sure that it is happy to let me go and to welcome somebody else. In that sense, I have read energies of houses because it's so important. Whenever you enter a new house, let's say you're buying a house and you don't get a good feeling, there's a reason for it, or you get a very strong vibe, there's a reason for it. It might not be right for the buyers or the renters who are coming in, right? So I think it's beautiful and it's magical. And I have read records of the trees because I connect with trees. Trees are my um peace, like I love them. So I just sit under the tree and sometimes I just sit there and I meditate. So yeah.
Amazing. That's interesting. Oh, it's so interesting because that just came to me to ask you about those two specific things, and you're like have so much to say specific to what you're going through with the trees and with your home, and I just find it so amazing that I got that question, and then there you are telling me exactly what's happening. Um, do you read the energies of like how things are unfolding, like let's say in the collective, like there's so much going on in the world. Do you also do readings like that to like help people navigate the energies of what's going on? I mean, there's so much especially here in the US with the political stuff and the end of the year and so much. Do you tune into that? And is there anything that you can maybe share for the audience of what's going on there right now?
So I do monthly oracle readings for the collective on
Hmm.
Instagram.
Oh,
I share. I do a 5 minute monthly oracle reading, and if anybody has questions, I would answer them separately via message. I offer that, but I have not yet spoken on a platform about the world in general. But what I seem to understand is, from everything that I have been receiving and I have heard, is that it's almost like a level of destruction has to take place for something new to grow. And currently, in the back, right, in the back end that we cannot see, the world is shifting so much and it is getting ready to hold space for something new that is going to come. So do not lose hope, right? We are all here to hold space for the new that is actually coming. So whoever's listening to this, I would say, do not lose hope when you see all the destruction. Don't get sucked into it, is what they always tell me. Um, of course, I pray for them and I try to like connect with them, but I don't want to get sucked into it because we have to hold space for the new world that is coming, that is going to emerge with a new perspective. And the new perspective is love, harmony, peace, right? So we just need to, like, I think, get through this area. And the way to get through this is, I have been told, is by not giving up faith, by believing that things are moving. And I have received confirmations from the universe on it, that things are happening. So do not give up faith. I think that's very important. I hope that answers your question.
yes, yes. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I have felt that there's so much moving on, but really the world that we see in our own space is the one that we pay attention to. So by paying attention to the chaos and the things that we do not like, we pretty much continue to create that world for ourselves. And if we choose to create, to put our attention in the things that we like, whether it's the trees or natures or your family or something great that happened, then you create that. And I know some people are like, oh, well, that's just avoidance or not watching it. But it really is choosing what you want to put your attention to so that you can experience that. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yes, so I don't think it's avoidance. I think it's very important to know what is happening in the world, but at the same time, send your love,
Mm.
send light to them.
Yes.
So that is not avoidance, that is saying that I'm going to support you in whatever way I can. Like, not everybody can pay, not everybody is able to be there. I mean, nobody wants to, be in the midst of a war, right? And leave their safety of their net. But just send them light and love. So I think you are already a part of it, but at the same time, work to create a beautiful world for yourself, for your generations to come after. Don't get sucked into the war and be like, from sitting so far away, thinking that you're there. Don't create that war in your own life. Instead, I believe like you should be just having positive vibes for them and lots of healing, but work towards creating a new world, right? For yourself and the generations to come. So I don't, I agree with you. I don't think it's avoidance,
Mhm.
like some people would put it, because we are doing what we can. It's better than I would say talking and you know commenting on it. I think at least we're using our energy to hold space for the wounded, but at the same time, trying to create a better world for the future, right?
That's what happened with the hurricane in Florida that was supposed to be a category 5, and it was so scary for the people who were there and had just gone through another hurricane, and then all of these beautiful healers started sending love and started sending love to the hurricane itself, to the people, to the area, and literally made that land, 2 steps lower. So like that's what it is. It's like not buying into the horror and the
Yes.
scariness of it, but sending love to it so that it can diffuse.
Yes, exactly. I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. Awesome. So, I think I skipped this, so I'm gonna go back and ask you, how was it for you when you decided to quit your job? And yeah, you went within to study your own thing, but then how was it for you? How did your family take it when you decided like, oh, I'm going to do spiritual healing now in Akashic Records after being, having all of these degrees?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to answer this. And
Yeah.
especially coming from a very strict family.
Uh-huh.
So I am going to India in December, so I'm going to get to hear a lot about it. Okay. So that
Sending
being
you
said,
love.
yeah. So when I quit my job and I had already started working on this course, I told my family, "Oh, I'm doing a course." And they were like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. She's doing something on her own time, but she's making money." Right? Like you have a profession, you have a degree, you're working, right? Like for them, like the basic things come down to having a job and not having a job, right? So they were okay with it. But when I quit, I was in a very male dominated profession, which is why I got called to do baking. I think it was just to allow the feminine creativity to flow through and to expand, right? So while I was doing all of my spiritual stuff, I started baking, and my parents were like, "Oh my goodness, what are you doing?" You're an engineer. What are you doing? You used to make this much amount of money and now you make nothing and this and that. And I did get a lot of backlash, but I think, like I told them that I've quit my job to take care of my child. And this is what I want to do in my time. You don't control me. Like I am okay with it. So what I would tell somebody is that I had my before I quit, I had the reason very clear. So the reason to quit was, in my head at that point, to quit was, okay, I want to look after my family. And in that time, I want to grow um, mentally and, for myself. So that was the spiritual stuff. So my reasons were very clear. My base was very strong. So every time they came to me, I was just like, hey, it's my time off. I'm going to do what I want, right? And now that I started my business this year, they're like, why are you not going back to work? And I said, Mama, I need this is what makes me happy, right? And any business, I want to say this to everyone, no business makes millions overnight, and when you do something like this, you're doing it to help people. Now, if you do it with a job or without a job, it doesn't matter. Of course, it depends on your financial capabilities and how you are situated. Thankfully, the universe has blessed me that my husband supporting me through this. But so I'm able to do this alone full time. But maybe not everybody has that, but that's okay. But I don't think what your parents think and what your family thinks and what your in-laws thinks is actually right, because our ancestors are like clouded with so many beliefs that currently we are breaking them. You see it all over the world. Everybody is breaking beliefs all over the world. So why are you not doing it in your own personal life to grow? There are so many um like systems that are actually crumbling around you. Why would you not do it in your own personal life? Which is what I told my mom. Like, look how much the world has changed. Do you think having a job from 9 to 5 is my only happiness? No. So I think now they have reached a place where they're able to give me the space and the time to just let me be and do my thing. Plus, they've seen a huge transformation in me. The way my relationship with my husband is, the way it is with my kids, the way it is with everybody around me, the way it is with them. And that happens as you heal yourself too, right? So they have seen a transformation in me, which has been an easier acceptance. But I think for anybody who wants to get into this, have your base value very strong. Why are you doing it? If your value system is strong and your faith in yourself is so strong, then the voice, will hurt you one day, but you're going to bounce right back into doing what, calls your heart out, right? So just, understanding the reason why you're doing it and having that very clear will help you push you forward. Is that is that helpful?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, but your
Yeah.
husband does support you.
I mean, I would say he does not believe in all of this completely.
Uh-huh.
Like, I go around saging the house, I do this, I do that. He doesn't believe in all of that completely, but I think he's coming around as he sees me growing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He sees, okay, oh, she has a call. Oh, she got a client. Oh, she has something to do. She's doing a workshop. So and now he's opened his ears and his eyes to things that everybody else is talking about spiritually. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's always harder for your own people to believe you. They believe other people. I
Yes,
think, yes, is
because
that's
they've known you.
unfortunate.
Yes, it's like
Yeah,
they've known, oh, that's the engineer person. That's
yeah,
not a healer,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And they don't
So
realize. Yeah.
yeah, they don't see that in me, but it's unfortunate. But now he's opened his eyes, and he's as he hears other people talking about it, his beliefs are shifting. So I don't impose it on him. I don't impose it on my parents. That's very important for anybody who wants to do this. The work is within you. You are supposed to spread the light. You're not supposed to force anybody with it, right? It's up to
Love
them.
that. Yes, I
Yeah,
love that you said that because um it feels like so many people are waking up now, and there's going to be so many more. It's going to be like 100-fold next year of people waking up. And one of the main things is as soon as we get that little spark of, oh, this is amazing, we just want to tell everybody, but
yeah,
everybody's not ready to receive it.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
had to go through that as well. I think we all struggle through that. It's like, it's amazing. Come, come, come. And they're not ready. They're not ready to be open. They're not ready to listen. They have to get it on their own time. So yeah, it's
Exactly.
very important to talk about this, that it's an inward thing. It's like you're changing, you're happy, you're healing, and then it's just your light that falls onto others. And then if and when they ask, then that's when you can share.
Yes, absolutely. You cannot force anyone. I mean, I cannot even force my own husband. I live in the same house with him.
Me too.
But I am okay with it. I am
Yes.
absolutely okay with it because I know it's his journey and this is
Mhm.
mine. And I don't want to force him. So I don't speak to him about it. Believe it or not, I don't go into details with it. He just knows what I do. He knows all the words and the concept, but I don't go into details with it because um, whenever he's ready, he'll come to me, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah. It's just such an important part of the conversation because, it feels like everybody goes through this type of
oh my
thing.
God, now that you said it, a very good friend of mine, she is, I don't want to disclose much about her. She does one of the modalities, and she's in a relationship, in a long distance relationship right now until they move in together. And she called me and she said, he doesn't my boyfriend doesn't believe in all this. He, like sometimes he makes jokes about it. And I said, so did my husband, but it didn't bother me. Again, this goes back to your belief system. If you
Mhm.
believe in it and it is so strong and it makes you happy, then everything else is noise. That's what I kept telling her. So you're right that a lot of people are going to be going through this because not everybody's journey is at the same time. So you will feel alone. I have gone through that. I've gone through that loneliness. I've gone through losing friends. Um, but like I said, everything, the junk has to get out of your life to be able to attract new,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we all go through that. But yeah, it's never the best thing to impose on people, right? Or tell them that, hey, you've got to believe it, right? It's just hope, it's faith, it's like any other religion, right? Like if you believe in a God, you cannot force that God on everyone. It's the same thing,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had a question. Has anyone spoken to you or being, quite controversial about what you're doing, you know, like trying to convince you not to do it? Or tell you that it doesn't, it's a bunch of hocus pocus or whatever.
Um, So nobody, like other than my parents, who say this to me, nobody has come up to my face and said it that it's hocus pocus, or that, like, why would you waste your life on it? But I see it on their faces. I feel it. And when you reach a level of opening and healing, you start sensing energy. So you feel that, disapproval, or like she's wasting her life, that that look. But it doesn't bother me, honestly, because if I was living on their terms, I don't think I would be where I am, or I would be a happier person, right? I am a happier person. So there's nothing that is more important to me than my own happiness and my family's happiness. So, living on everybody else's opinions does not serve me. It does not take me anywhere. It would just
Hmm.
make me miserable, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
for sure. I mean, we'll be
so
doing that all of our lives, which
yeah,
is
we
what
have been
made us
doing.
miserable in the first place.
Exactly. I was listening to my parents. I just followed a path, put down, but it doesn't bother me. It literally doesn't bother me. Like I said, which is why I have lost people who I thought were friends, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Because if they don't accept the happier and the newer me, then it's fine. It's your journey. Whenever you're ready, I'm always here to connect with you. But, right?
finding your
It,
people.
Yeah. So you end up finding your own soul tribe, who believe in this stuff.
Yeah,
Trust me, you're going to start attracting people who want to bring you up, who want to support you, instead of those who want to bring you down by saying, oh, what are you doing is wrong, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So,
Or making
yeah.
fun of it.
Yeah. Making fun of it too. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like your friend. What would you say to someone who is going through their spiritual awakening and has a background of either family or herself or himself or the partner who works in a corporate type of business who is completely 3D, like
Yeah.
very linear, like this, like show me the show me the evidence before I believe in it type of thing. And let's say they ask them like, "Hey, what do you do for a living, or what are you doing?" And they say, "Oh, I'm an Akashic Records or an energy healing," and then they make fun of them. How would you um, tell them like what would be the best way to handle that type of situation, especially for those who are kind of like just starting to tune into their own gifts or their own knowing or their own magic, and they're so excited, and then they get this type of like
Yeah.
raining on your parade type of thing.
So, I have had that happen to me where, like, of course, nobody's come up to my face enough, but, I get the disapproval and then they walk away. Um, After you get up from that sadness and the, feeling sorry for yourself, I think one thing that my guardians and my angels have told me that, I'm not doing whatever I'm doing for them. I'm doing it for myself. Right. So if you are a tarot reader and you just recently started reading, cards, and you tell a friend and she laughs at you understand that she's not ready for this. A second thing is that her opinion does not control your life. Do not, like, every day she's not with you. She's just a friend. Even if it's your husband who laughs at you, his happiness as a relationship, you both are one. I get it, but at the end of the day, your happiness within your heart is going to make this relationship better. So are you ready to give it up? If he doesn't understand, respect his opinion. Today you get it. That does not mean he has to get it, right? You have to respect his journey, you have to respect his opinion, but you don't have to force it. Again, I go back to that. It's okay if they don't get it. Cry about it, feel sorry for yourself, but then understand, why are you doing this? Come back to that question. Just ask yourself the question, why am I doing this? Is it for yourself? Then say, heck yeah, it's for myself, and grab those cards again and get going. But you don't but you should not force it back on that person, of course, right? Like, you understand that the person is not ready for this, or will never be, and that's okay. So part of this journey is learning how to love and respect others too, right? right? It's just not learning how to respecting yourself. It's learning how to respect others' journey too, right? So you should not be judging them for not believing in this. You should not be thinking less of them. Everybody has their own journey. Um, so just go back to it. It's okay, you know. Okay, so in India, right, for example, a baker, because I started baking, they're like, what is a baker? What do you do? Like, you don't make any money, but hey, like if I listen to you, that's how they look down at me. But does it change what I do? No, I still enjoyed it and I did it so beautifully. And then they were like, oh, wow, look at that. She's, like, look at what she created. So if I would have listened to them and gotten into their negativeness, without realizing that I'm doing this for myself, I would have just sat on the couch and been sad and depressed and feeling pathetic, right? But I understood I'm doing it for myself. They said I'm going to keep going at it, and at some point they shifted their gears and they said, "Oh wow, she's really doing it," right? So
Yeah. And I think you hit it right on the head when you said, you've explained it so much. We're doing this for ourselves because especially for an empath or most women who are empaths are like giving, 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 always about making the other ones happy, making the husband happy or the partner or the children or the parents. It's always about someone else. And this is so different to like, hey, I'm doing this for me. Like,
I'm doing it for you. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
difficult. It's a huge shift into like doing something to be either respected or admired or whatever, looked at as somebody who's successful and you're miserable doing it. And then choosing something for yourself, like, hey, I choose to do this. This is what makes me
yes.
happy.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is extremely important because that proverb, like, a glass half full does not serve anyone. It's the
Hmm.
same thing, if you don't learn to respect yourself and do things for yourself, how are you going to love others? And I've learned that the hard way, because like you said, we are just taught to give, we're a woman, we got to do this, we got to do that. And we are things are shifting. Nobody believes that anymore.
Yeah,
So I think that is very, very important, to understand that. And I really want to emphasize that, just like you expect people to understand your journey, it is very important for you to understand their journey. So
for
even if they
sure.
don't agree with you, respect it. That will make you feel so much better than trying to argue or force it or explain to them. I think you will come out so much more lighter because you're not carrying their negative energy or their thoughts into your gifts, into your peace, into your love, right? So, yeah, that's what has worked for me,
Yeah. And
truly.
this is one of the reasons that I'm doing this podcast is because we have gone through the pains. And now by talking about our journey, talking about how we handle it, what we did, in hopes of like, if you're just waking up, these are the things you can avoid. This is how we shifted. This is how you can move faster if you want to, without, so much doubt, so much pain, and so much sadness when somebody doesn't validate you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And if you need somebody to validate you, get a mentor, get a healer, go to a reader. You
Find
don't
your
have
tribe.
to. Yeah, yeah, you don't have to spend crazy amount of money too, it's just part of your journey, right? Like whenever you need any kind of validation of what you're doing or what you receive, contact somebody and they'll guide you because
Yeah.
everybody's wanting to help, that is the whole point of this is to help others, right?
Yeah,
So that's where we are at
absolutely.
right now. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, Ishani, do you have anything else you would like to share with the audience that you would like to say about anything, about your journey or the healing or anything else that we haven't touched in or that I didn't ask you?
Um, what I want to really say is, that the universe, when everybody has a really simple question like, what is my purpose? But that is a very wide question. So if you go to a reader, or you do a class or something for what is my purpose, and this is what you receive at that moment, I want everybody to know, and even this is something that I'm learning as I go, it is what you are able to hold. And that purpose is going to keep evolving if you go back to your practices, right? So again, never stop your beliefs and your little practices that you do for yourself, because this purpose is going to keep widening your vessel, your energy field, um, like your capabilities. And that purpose is going to keep evolving depending on what you are able to hold. So right now you might be at a nursery in a spiritual growth, but that does not mean that you give up. If you keep feeding into it little by little every day, it's going to expand, and you're going to reach the 10th grade overnight. Um, so that's something that I really wanted to share, that don't give up because you think that, oh, this is all that I received. It's what you are ready for to receive. It's what you can hold. So go back into it, don't give up, and it's going to beautifully expand for you, and you're going to receive a lot more. Uh, that's what I wanted to really share.
It's beautiful. Beautifully said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for being here and talking about all of the ups and downs of the spiritual journey and what you do. Of course, I'm going to put all of the ways that people can get in touch with you in the notes underneath. So don't worry about that. If you're just listening or you were driving, just go in the notes to find Eshani if you want to connect with her. And
Yes,
yeah, amazing.
absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Valerie, for having me here. I just wanted to share for those who are driving that I do have a promo code in the link, and a link, if you want to, dwell into Akashic Records or know what it is, or just do a reading, there's a discounted code in there that you will see in the comments, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I have asked this with other in other interviews, but let's just say a little bit more. I know we're saying goodbye, but a little bit more about what is it? What is the Akasha Records? So that people that who don't know know about that.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay. So, better late than never. Akashic Records is a beautiful realm of information. Information from the time that your soul was incepted or born until now. So, you could believe that you have multiple past lives, and even if you don't believe that, and but it has information about everything, and it also will tell you why are you behaving a certain way, why do you feel a certain way. It will connect your relations with people. It is a library of you and your connections that you have made over a period of lifetime, to different people, to the land where you live, to the house, to everything. It's gonna guide you. And the purpose of this is not to give you one definite answer. The purpose of the Akashic Records is to show you a path. Um, Whether you take it or not is different, but it's to guide you through it and to support you. So whether you take the path that they tell you, or you take the path that you want to do, it does not matter. They will guide you either ways. So I do healing, I do light language transmission, I do oracle cards, I do and readings. I do everything under the Akashic Records. For me, that is my universe. I think you're on
Lovely.
mute.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I
yeah.
was. Sorry, my
Okay.
dog was
Yeah,
shaking. I apologize.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little off. Like it feels like this interview was like going from here to there. It wasn't like in a straight line, which is fine because everything is meant to be the way it's meant to be. Um, but I just came back from vacation last night and I went to pick up my dogs today, and my dog is here making noises. So I keep muting myself so it doesn't go
It's
in.
okay.
So
It's okay.
yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for explaining that.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for
Yeah,
being here.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Valerie. Thank you so much
Okay.
for having me. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, if you like this, please like it. Make a comment, let us know how it felt for you, and share with anyone else, especially if you know of other people who are going through their own awareness and awakening right now, and they need a little bit more of like how real this is. This is like the reality of what going through a spiritual journey is, just finding yourself and standing in your truth and remember, just like Eshani said, it's all about making yourself happy. It's all about you. It's no longer about pleasing others. It's about yourself and standing true in that place. So anyway, I love you and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.